Hey, how's it going? My name is Daniel Calderon and welcome back to Corner Talks. Independency is an important concept that we should all value and take into consideration for ourselves. Becoming independent is a means of setting yourself free from the constraints of other people's opinions, pressures, and influences. In light of the pandemic, there have been a growing number of people that have discovered their independency by keeping busy, staying creative, and being comfortable with themselves during isolation. Unfortunately, as this pandemic drags on, and with the high use of social media to kill the time, there have been a number of cases where people are suffering from depression, anxiety, and comparison of others. A lot of this, though, stems from people that are probably for the first time being forced to stay on their own and be alone with their own thoughts. Although we are social animals and interdependent on one another for survival, it is imperative that we as a society encourage people to become more independent of who they are and what they're capable of. Independency raises your self-esteem because it gives you the power to have your own voice and the will to control your own life. Having said that, this is how to become more independent. This notion, especially amongst millennials, and including myself, because I'm a millennial, that being bored is something that's bad. Being bored is for losers. You know, being bored is for people that don't have any friends or can't go out. But being bored allows you to be with your thoughts, allows you to identify, figure out who you are, and allows you to see what you can be. Boredom allows me to be alone with my thoughts, confront these thoughts, if you will, and see why are they coming to my mind. For me, whenever I was alone, free from socialization and scrolling mindlessly through social media, my mind always went to films. The films I watched, the roundtable of directors that I studied, how films were made, the films that I want to make and how I want them to be seen to the audience. This passion, this career that I created for myself could have never have happened if I was always checking my phone, seeing what notifications would pop up on Instagram, or if I was going through YouTube, or if I was always calling my friends and seeing what they were up to instead of looking at what I want to do, looking at who I was as a person. You see, when you set time aside for yourself, and when you allow boredom to enter, and you allow yourself to be alone with those thoughts, you start to realize that you become independent thinker, independent doer. You don't need other people to create things with you. You don't need other people to make films for you, or write a story for you, or create this vlog for you. You can do it yourself. If you have the intuition, you have the work ethic, the passion, you can create anything on your own. And that passion, that love to make film, or like I said, these vlogs, came from independency. It starts all the way back to when I was alone with my thoughts in my room, thinking, what can I do next? What can I do that will enhance my brand, will bring exposure to who I am, and enlighten and inspire the people that I show my content to. Too many people feel the need to be busy. They feel the need to always be socializing, checking their phone, going out. And the reality is that's not independency. You have a reliance on other people. You have a reliance on these possessions. You have a reliance on things that are not an extension of who you are. And you need to identify yourself. And this pandemic, the reason why I brought it up is it allowed a lot of people to really slow down and figure out, wait, what do I want to be doing? What do I want to be doing in the next 5, 10 years, a lifetime? What makes me tick? What motivates me and drives me and makes me feel alive? We've all been there, where someone or even something that you like draws you in, makes you feel whole, and then you become attached. However, you don't see it as attachment. You see it as a friendship, a relationship, a bond. But what you don't realize is when the relationship becomes an attachment, that's when you lose your independency. We lose a sense of who we are and all the special, unique things that we could offer. Psychologically, we allow for these people to dictate our level of happiness because our attachment to them transforms to a dependency based on who they are. Slowly, our identity is stripped away to the point where we can't even identify what our dreams are or why we even started them. The best way to prevent this attachment is by focusing on you. People, including myself, forget this time and again. You are, and you will always be, your closest, most supportive, most loving friend that you know. And if you don't cherish yourself as the person you enjoy being with, then you will always be a lost soul, dependent on how other people make you feel. One thing I learned in my 20s, and it's becoming more apparent as I get older, is that people come and go out of your life. Breakups, deaths, disagreements, growing up, growing old. Through it all, you're the only person that will stick around. Through the highs and through the lows. There is no escaping of who you are, which is why it is important to support who you are, to be kind to who you are. Now, I'm not trying to be cynical and say, lose all contact with other people. That's not independency. Independency is having a healthy relationship with other people that you care about and with yourself. Because when people reject you, insult you, ghost you, block you, don't want to speak to you, or just you grow apart, you'll never take it personal. You'll never feel bad about those situations. Why? Because you're confident with who you are, where your emotions aren't dependent on how another person makes you feel. Realizing nobody cares may sound harsher when said out loud, but it could never sound truer. There was a time when I believed everyone was watching you. Everybody was thinking about you and concerned about what you were up to. I used to think that on social media, when they would give you a follow, they were really following your life and concerned about, what you were posting next and if it was up to standard. This notion may sound egotistical and conceited, but we can all relate to this on a psychological level. What we post, how we dress, and why we speak a certain way is sometimes an indirect response to our feeling of being accepted. Nobody wants to be judged or ridiculed. It's why we are insecure about posting something on social media or taking a high-paying job when we know we hate it. People are not living the lives they want because they think others will think of them differently. And yes, if they do think of you differently, in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of their life, you're just but a brief second. Don't get me wrong, people that love and respect you care about you, but to a certain degree. They gotta think of, does Bobby need a ride to the mall? Or will I pay my student debt? Or should I pick Pepsi or Coca-Cola? No matter how serious or trivial those problems that I just stated were. The point is that people have their own lives. They got their own careers, they got their own dreams. Yet, the ones that are really absorbed about other people's lives and actually really do care about what they're going through, that's not being independent. They are dependent on those people to feel fulfilled. Whether they're being positive, whether they're being negative towards them, that harmful, unhealthy energy is what feeds them. You see, that's not an independent person. An independent person, again, has conviction. They post what they want, they take control of what they want, and they do whatever it takes to make it happen. They don't think about what Susie says, what Stacy said, what Bob said, what Dylan said. They think about what they say. They think about what drives them. Now, that's not to say I don't take inspiration or I don't take constructive criticism from other people. I'm doing it all the time. But I'm talking about I never get to a point where I prevent myself from being who I am or creating what I want because I'm thinking that they will care. They will care so much about what I do and might take away from who I am. No. The reality is nobody cares. Everybody is in their own lane. Everybody is in their own path. And everybody's trying to do their own thing. It's not trying to sound selfish or conceited or narcissistic. It's the reality. Every single person, including yourself, if you're truly independent, you're running your own life. You're running your own path. And you're doing it the best way you can. You're going to support other people along the way. But you're not going to let it get to a point where you care so much it takes away from your own life. Thanks again, guys, for joining me on another Corner Talks. I really hope you enjoyed my discussion on how to become more independent. I feel like it's something that can benefit a lot of people if you decide today, not tomorrow, to be yourself, to be who you are, to not give into attachment, to not give in to what other people think about you, and just go it unapologetically, without permission, towards your dream, towards your path. You got this, and I believe in you. If you agree or disagree to what I had to say, please be sure to leave your comments down below. I always love to hear your thoughts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Take care, and I'll see you soon.